Okay, good morning and welcome to Morning Gospel Fuel with Mr. G. It is Saturday, September 3rd, the 22nd week of Ordinary Time, and the feast day of Pope St. Gregory the First, also known as Gregory the Great. And he was one of the church fathers, Latin church fathers and doctors of the church. And the Protestant reformer John Calvin admired Pope Gregory very greatly and declared in his Institutes, which is his work, that Gregory was the last good pope. So, well, I've also heard that from many people about Pope John Paul II. So, take it as you wish. Every time is an interesting time in the history of the church and civilization. Anyway, Pope Gregory the First is he's the patron saint of musicians, singers, students, and teachers. And Gregorian chant, the music of the church, is accredited towards his name. Today's gospel is from Luke chapter 6, verses 1 through 5. Let's begin in the name of the Father, Son, and Spirit. Amen. While Jesus was going through a field of grain on a Sabbath, his disciples were picking the heads of grain, rubbing them in their hands, and eating them. Some Pharisees said, "Why are you doing what is unlawful on the Sabbath?" Jesus said to them in reply, "Have you not read what David did when he and those who were with him were hungry? How he went into the house of God, took the bread of offering, which only the priests could lawfully eat, ate of it, and shared it with his companions. Then he said to them, 'The Son of Man is Lord of the Sabbath.'" Okay, so Jesus is explaining the purpose of the Sabbath, and to make sure that it is truly used as a way to grow closer and give thanks to God for all that he does, and not so much to condemn others for not doing what they're supposed to do on the Sabbath. Because we get so tied and fixated to the law, which is what Jesus always criticizes the Pharisees on, because God is the new law. Jesus is. And so Jesus wants us to grow closer and closer to him, which is all about intentionality. And so I run into this with Protestants who have the same mentality of the Sadducees and the Pharisees, attachment to law, similar to the attachment to the Bible, which Catholics truly believe in the Bible, but it's impossible to go by sola scriptura. There's also the magisterium and tradition, um, and not just the Bible. We fully believe in the Bible, but we can't just limit God to what can be written in the Gospels, because even the end of John, the very last verse of John's Gospel, says that even all the books in the world could not possibly contain all that Jesus was able to do. Meaning, the Bible itself is limited. But it helps reveal God, in his omnipresence and his omnipotence and everything that God is, which is so hard to teach and get across. But anyway, with all that being said, do we open ourselves up outside of our own personal limitations of what God is and who he is? And where is it that God might be calling you to kind of open your mind and your heart up a little bit more to grow closer to him, which is purely metaphysical, and outside of what we can truly ever understand. So, good luck. It's a lifelong journey. Have a great day. God bless. Keep it real. In the Father, Son, and Spirit. Amen.